What is up, Movie Merc fans? I am, of course, the host with the most Parzival. Before we begin this one today, the video series that I'm about to jump into, I have to first say this series means so much to me. So grab your blasters, grab your Walkmans, because this week I'm coming back with another cosmic deep dive. Today we're blasting off with, of course, the Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. This 2014 masterpiece turned a bunch of space misfits into household names, and it's loaded with Easter eggs, killer music, and character moments that make an absolute banger. So channel your inner Groot. Let's break down the scripts, some secrets, and the tunes that make this movie a galactic classic. Please, before we go any further, hit that subscribe button, ring the bell, and let's get hooked on a feeling together, shall we? We kick off Terra, Earth, 1988. Young Peter Quill is sitting in a hospital listening to his Walkman with his mom, Meredith, passes away from cancer. It's a gut punch right out the gate, but it sets up Peter's whole vibe. After her death, he's abducted by a spaceship. Yep, aliens. Or what we think are aliens. And they just snatch the poor kid up. Fact, real quick. The opening scene is a love letter to director James Gunn's own childhood. He said that he carried a Walkman and a mixtape, and that really inspired his love for the music growing up in the 80s. And that mixtape that we're listening to from Volume 1 is called Awesome Mix Volume 1. And it's not just a soundtrack, it's practically a character in the movie that James Gunn has written and molded around that whole album. The song playing here is I'm Not in Love by 10cc. It's a smooth, bittersweet track that sets the tone for Peter's emotional journey. Awesome Mix 1 actually topped the Billboard charts, a first for a soundtrack with no original songs. James Gunn handpicked every single track and wrote them into scenes. He even gave Chris Pratt a playlist of extra songs to get into Star-Lord's headspace. Check this out. Gunn posted on Facebook that some songs like Wichita Lineman by Glenn Campbell were almost in the movie but were cut before the film's release. Fast forward 26 long space years and Peter's a full-grown space scoundrel. He's on Morag, dancing to Come and Get Your Love by Redbone. He's stealing a mysterious orb here in this scene. The scene itself is iconic. It's Quill's kicking critters, he's using them as a mic and singing into them. It's literally a space music video. The orb that he's stealing, it's not just a MacGuffin now. It's a literal power stone, one of the 6 Infinity Stones in the MCU. Keep an eye out. During Quill's arrest later, his rap sheet lists the orb as unidentified, a sneaky hint that even the Nova Corps don't know its true power yet. Another fun fact here, Come and Get Your Love was a bold choice. Gunn wanted a song that screamed 70s, but wasn't overplayed, which makes sense. Redbone, a Native American rock band, gives this scene its funky energy, and Gunn almost used Mama Told Me Not to Come by Three Dog Night here, but instead he chose against it. Good call in my personal opinion. Quill's orb heist puts him on the radar of some wild characters. We meet Gamora, the deadly assassin sent by Ronan, Rocket, a snarky little awesome raccoon experiment, and Groot, his tree buddy / muscle. And of course, Drax the Destroyer, the vengeance-driven idiot warrior. The 3 minus Drax clash on Xandar trying to nab the orb and end up arrested by the Nova Corps. Now let's break down some characters, shall we? Peter Quill, Star-Lord, played by Chris Pratt, is a cocky, charming Ravager who calls himself Star-Lord. Pratt dropped 60 pounds for this role, so that it was very, very, very hard for him, but he wanted it. He also improvised a ton of lines to nail that Han Solo meets Indiana Jones vibe that we continuously get throughout the whole trilogy. Now, Rocket Raccoon, voiced by Bradley Cooper, Rocket's a genetically engineered raccoon with a chip on his shoulder and a genius little brain on him. Fun little thing to watch out for. When Rocket scanned at the Kiln prison, his file lists Lila as an associate. This is a huge nod to the comics where Lila is an otter and Rocket's soulmate. And in Volume 3, we finally get to meet her, and God, it's an emotional roller coaster. We'll save that for another video. Groot, voiced by Vin Diesel. Groot only says, "I am Groot," but Diesel recorded that line over 1,000 times to get every single emotion just right. Fun fact here, Groot's a monarch from Planet X, way more regal than just this lovable tree dude that we get in the movies. Gamora. Zoe Saldana's Gamora is the deadliest woman in the galaxy. Raised by Thanos, her rap sheet at the Kiln mentions her cybernetic enhancements. A subtle nod to her comic book counterpart's superhuman strength. She does have some pretty strong strength here, and we get to see that a little bit more in Volume 3. Then the Invisible Man himself, Dave Bautista. Drax's is a literal-minded destroyer out to kill Ronan for murdering his family. Bautista was a pro wrestler, and James Gunn cast him after seeing several takes that show emotional depth in his auditions. Drax's home planet, Kylos, is mentioned in his prison file, trying to obscure Marvel lore there a little bit. Are you, James Gunn? We see you. The Kiln prison scene is packed with Easter eggs. Look closely at the background. There's a Skrull prisoner hinting at the shape-shifting aliens later seen in Captain Marvel. Also, the Nova Corps leader, Nova Prime, Glenn Close, is a nod to the comic book character who wields the Nova Force. Didn't really get to see all that much of that, but yeah, you know what it is. It is what it is. Now enter the bad guys. Ronan the Accuser, a Kree fanatic played by Lee Pace, and Nebula, Gamora's sister, played by Karen Gillan. They're working for Thanos. Yeah, Thanos. The big, huge, evil purple guy from the Avengers post-credit scene. Quill tries to sell the orb to the broker on Xandar, but when that fails, he heads to nowhere to meet the Collector. Now, the Collector's Museum is another amazing treasure trove. You'll spot Cosmo, the space dog, who dances at the credits and becomes a very, very pivotal character in Guardians 3. There's also a dark elf from Thor, The Dark World, and wait for it, you get to see Howard the Duck, voiced by Seth Green. Now, Howard's cameo is a wild nod to the Marvel's 1986 flop movie, which is horrifying for anyone who wants to watch old Marvel movies, but you accidentally see a lady who has sexual relations with a duck. And it flopped. Anywho, Quill arrives on Nowhere. Moon Age Daydream by David Bowie plays. Gunn added this post-production, and it's perfect for the trippy cosmic vibe. Bowie's influence looms large here. Peter's ship, the Milano, is named after 80s actress Alyssa Milano. But in Volume 3, the new ship's name is the Bowie. The Guardians team up to stop Ronan from using the Power Stone to destroy Xandar. Rocket builds a crazy weapon. Drax gets his revenge, and Quill, well, he challenges Ronan to a dance-off to save the universe. It's ridiculous. It's perfect. It's funny. They save the day, and Quill swaps the orb for a fake, tricking Yondu with a troll doll. Classic. That troll doll, it's a callback to Peter's childhood, and it actually reappears on Yondu's funeral in Volume 2. R.I.P. Also, during the final battle, keep an eye out for Nova Corps starfighters forming a net straight around just like in the comics. This climactic scene rocks Cherry Bomb by The Runaways, a punk anthem that amps up the action. Gunn wrote these songs into the script, like I said earlier, making them part of the story's DNA, essentially. The final scene with Baby Groot dancing to I Want You Back by the Jackson 5 is pure joy. Diesel's kid actually helped inspire that scene, and James Gunn did a lot of the dancing in the background. James Gunn's legendary Easter egg from Volume 1 is still out there. Fans have scoured every frame, but Gunn says it's a big cosmic clue tied to the MCU's future. Some think it's coordinates, some think it was overlooked, and it was properly defined in Volume 3, and we'll never know what it is. Me, I think that Guardians of the Galaxy fan someday will crack it. What do you guys think? Well, folks, that's it for Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 1. What a wild ride of Misfits, music, Marvel magic, and from Star-Lord's dance moves to Rocket's snark, this movie made us fall in love, especially me, with these cosmic weirdos. What is your favorite Easter egg or song from this awesome mix? Smash that like button below. Please hit that subscribe button. Subscribe to Movie Mark. Be here next week whenever we break down Volume 2. For this one right here, I'm going to give it a 7.9. 7.9. So like I said, come back in about a week. Let's check out Volume 2. We're going to keep exploring this galaxy together. Until then, stay hooked on a feeling, and I'll catch you in the next one next week, Volume 2. After that, Volume 3. This series is awesome. It's one of my favorite Marvel movies, like, that's been made. So yeah, if you guys like silliness, space adventure, go check out this movie and stay classy. I love you guys so much. Thanks for being here. I'll see you guys next week. Have a good one. Bye.